The White House issued a readout regarding the telephone calls between His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, with US Vice President Kamala Harris. According to the readout, the Vice President expressed regret that she was unable to travel to Bahrain due to the unprecedented wildfires in Los Angeles. She expressed appreciation for the partnership between the two countries throughout the term of President Joe Biden, hailing the close relationship between the United States and the Kingdom of Bahrain. Vice President Harris expressed pride in the 2023 signing of the Comprehensive Security, Integration and Prosperity Agreement, CCPA, a key accomplishment of the Biden-Harris administration in the Middle East. The readout noted that the agreement was announced by Harris and the Crown Prince in their March 2022 meeting. It added that CCPA enhances US-Bahrain cooperation on defence, trade, science and emerging technology. The Vice President expressed support for strengthening CCPA and noted that United Kingdom's recent decision to join CCPA, demonstrating it can be a model for further regional integration. The Vice President also expressed appreciation for Bahrain's security partnership, including its housing of the US Fifth Fleet and US Naval Forces Central Command, and reaffirmed the importance of the United States working with its regional partners to support regional stability and maritime security. The readout added that during the calls, the Vice President discussed the latest developments in the Middle East and underscored her commitment to continuing efforts towards a future of peace, dignity and security for all people in the region, and a future with increased integration, connectivity and prosperity. The Vice President commended the efforts made by Bahrain, led by His Majesty and His Royal Highness, to promote interfaith tolerance in Bahrain. With the follow-up of the representative of His Majesty the King for Humanitarian Work and Youth Affairs and Chairman of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sport, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, and under the patronage of the First Deputy Chairman of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, Chairman of the General Sports Authority and President of Bahrain Olympic Committee, His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the main race of His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa's Endurance Cup for 120-kilometre private stables race was held at Bahrain International Endurance Village. The event was organised by Bahrain Royal Equestrian and Endurance Federation at Brief. His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad was keen to follow all stages of the race, which was held amid good participation from riders who competed for the first places. His Highness emphasised that the His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa Championship is one of the strongest championships of the season due to the large participation in international and local races, in addition to the race dedicated to private stables. His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad added that His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa is always keen to support the endurance races, and their support contributes to the continued advancement of the sport, which is moving according to an integrated system towards opening more horizons of development, and is an incentive to achieving foreign achievements. His Highness congratulated the winners of the first places, praising the riders for the performance they presented throughout the stages of the race. The winners were honoured by the Secretary General of Brief, Ghalib Al-Alawi, the Assistant Secretary General of Brief and Royal Endurance Team Director, Dr. Khalid Ahmed Hassan. Hamid Al-Janahi from RM Stables won first place. Hamid Ismail Al-Balushi from Al-Ajal Stables came second, and Khalifa Khalid from Asal Stables secured third place. The Shura Council held its weekly session, presided over by its chairman Ali Al-Saleh. The session discussed the reports of the Financial and Economic Affairs Committee regarding a draft law to ratify the agreement between the Government of Bahrain and the Government of Hong Kong, the Special Administrative Region of China, and regarding a draft law to ratify the agreement between the Government of Bahrain and the Government of the UAE to eliminate double taxation and income taxes and prevent tax evasion and avoidance. The Council also discussed the report of the Legislative and Legal Affairs Committee regarding a draft law amending Article 11 of the Civil Service Law. Attorney General Dr. Ali bin Fadl Al-Buainin received the Attorney General of Turkey, Mushin Shinturk, and his accompanying delegation. The visit comes to support judicial cooperation between the public prosecution in both countries to discuss the exchange of experiences and capacity development through general and advanced training for members of the public prosecution, and to learn about the institutional and judicial development achieved by the public prosecution in the Kingdom of Bahrain, within the framework of reviewing the results of activating the MOU concluded between the two prosecutions in 2016, which regulates cooperation and information exchange in areas related to organised crime, financial, economic and cyber crimes, drug crimes and trafficking in persons, as well as in implementing judicial assistance in accordance with the provisions of the national laws. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdulatif bin Rashid Al Zayani, participated in the joint Arab ministerial meeting in Riyadh, chaired by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, His Highness Prince Faisal bin Farhan, to discuss developments in Syria. The meeting was attended by foreign ministers of Jordan, the UAE, Bahrain in its capacity as the chair of the current session of the Arab League, Oman, Qatar, Kuwait, Egypt, Iraq, Syria and Lebanon, in the presence of the Secretary General of the Arab League and the GCC Secretary General. The meeting discussed the situation in Syria and ways to provide support to the new Syrian administration and enable it to continue efforts to preserve the security, stability and sovereignty of Syria, return it to its expertise and regional and international role, and realise the aspirations of its people for security, growth and prosperity. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdulatif bin Rashid Al Zayani, participated in the joint Arab Western ministerial meeting held in Riyadh at the invitation of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, chaired by the Saudi Minister of Foreign Affairs, His Highness Prince Faisal bin Farhan, to discuss developments in Syria. The Foreign Affairs Ministers of Jordan, UAE, Bahrain, in its capacity as the chair of the current session of the Arab League, Oman, Qatar, Kuwait, Egypt, Iraq, Syria and Lebanon, participated in the meeting in the presence of the Arab League Secretary General and the GCC Secretary General. The meeting was also attended by the foreign ministers of the UK, Turkey, Germany, the US Under-Secretary for Political Affairs, Spain's State Secretary for Foreign Affairs, Italy's Under-Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs, the French Presidential Advisor, the European Union High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, and the UN Envoy for Syria. The meeting examined the situation in Syria, its repercussions on regional security and stability, and the areas of support needed to preserve Syria's sovereignty, independence and territorial integrity, and promoting economic growth and development, and the return of refugees, and meeting the aspirations of the Syrian people for peace, growth and prosperity. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdulatif bin Rashid Al Zayani, met with Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs and Expatriates of Jordan, Ayman Safadi. During the meeting, they discussed the course of the close historical fraternal relations between Bahrain and Jordan and means of further enhancing bilateral cooperation in various domains. They also exchanged views on the developments in Gaza, Lebanon and Syria, in addition to discussing the current regional developments and regional and international efforts aimed at enhancing regional security and stability. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdulatif bin Rashid Al Zayani, met in Riyadh the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Immigration and Egyptian Expatriates Affairs of Egypt, Dr. Bada Abdel Ati. They discussed the historical fraternal relations between Bahrain and Egypt, means of developing bilateral cooperation and joint coordination in all fields to serve the interests of the two brotherly countries and peoples, in addition to exchanging views on the current regional developments and developments in Gaza, Lebanon and Syria and the implications for regional security and stability. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdulatif bin Rashid Al Zayani, met with the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Expatriates in the Syrian interim government, Assad al-Shabani. They discussed aspects of bilateral cooperation and opportunities to develop it in various fields and continue coordination and joint consultation to serve mutual interest. They also exchanged views on the developments in Syria and the Arab, regional and international efforts to preserve Syria's sovereignty, independence, security and stability until the aspirations of the Syrian people for peace, security, development and prosperity. Under the patronage of Her Royal Highness the wife of His Majesty the King and President of the Supreme Council for Women, the SCW, Princess Abika bint Ibrahim Al Khalifa, the Global Women Economic Forum and Exhibition will commence on Monday until January the 15th. The event is organised by the Bahrain Business Women's Society to mark its Silver Jubilee. The 4-day forum will feature live key discussion panels focusing on innovative diplomacy, investing in security and economic innovation. The exhibition will host 38 participants representing various services, business sectors and companies from multiple countries, including notable Bahraini companies and outstanding businesswomen. The forum will also feature approximately 50 speakers, selected based on criteria such as diversity, relevance and their ability to contribute to the event's objectives and topics of discussion. In implementation of the order of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister to provide 6,900 housing services to the citizens, the Ministry of Housing and Urban Planning continues to provide housing services to beneficiaries. The Ministry received a number of citizens who benefited from the ownership services by using the electronic draw feature to distribute the ownership services allocated in the housing cities. The electronic draw procedures are carried out smoothly according to the years of demand, with the Ministry's team explaining the procedures to the beneficiaries and presenting the available options for the process. The Ministry will continue to communicate with the citizens over the coming period to finalise the procedures for receiving housing services for the beneficiaries. The citizens praised the facilitated procedures during the service and the cooperation provided by the Ministry. The Vice President of the Asian Parliamentary Assembly, APA, Ahmed Asalum, headed the Parliamentary Division, participated in the meeting of APA's Standing Committee on Political Affairs in Iraq. He emphasised the exceptional call made by His Majesty the King during his presidency of the recent Arab Summit to hold an international conference for peace in the Middle East. He pointed out that this call is an embodiment of His Majesty's firm strategic vision that seeks to end the ongoing conflicts and achieve a lasting peace that guarantees security and stability for all countries in the region. He added that Bahrain firmly believes that effective dialogue and cooperation are the basis for reaching comprehensive and just solutions, stressing that its position as a regional issues are based on firm principles and a clear vision that translates into practical steps that confirm its deep commitment to just and sustainable peace on the foundations of international legitimacy. With the aim of promoting development and excellence in government work, the 6th edition of the Government Innovation Competition FICRA continues its voting after 12 ideas have qualified. The competition comes as an affirmation of the government's belief in partnership, development and teamwork to improve government performance. More in this report.
The voting in the Government Innovation Competition FICRA continues through the website of the Prime Minister's office on 12 ideas, with the aim of selecting the winning idea based on people's choice. This competition comes in confirmation of the government's belief in partnership and development, and with the aim of stimulating creativity and innovation among employees of the government sector or government companies, and providing an opportunity for them to compete in providing effective proposals to improve the level of government performance. These ideas qualified after reviewing the applications by several committees before being evaluated by a high-level ministerial committee. The public is also allowed to vote for their favorite ideas, which are then implemented by the relevant government entities. FICRA is a competition that invites proposals on how to improve government performance and the quality of public service in the Kingdom of Bahrain in line with the economic vision and the Sustainable Development Goals.
The Director General of the General Directorate of Civil Defence, Brigadier General Pilot Ali Mohammed Al-Kabazi, reported that the Customer Service Centre in Maharik Governorate completed 4,848 services and received 6,019 calls within a year of its launch. He said that the appointment system designed to facilitate services provided to the public contributed to the completion of 5,310 services. He added these efforts align with the goal of enhancing efficiency and speed of response to meet the needs and requirements of citizens and residents, while adhering to the digital transformation plan to improve service quality and reduce time and effort. The Director General highlighted that the services include delivery of training certificates, engineering maps, incident reports and evacuations, as well as re-engineering procedures for obtaining the final licence to connect electricity. Al-Kabazi affirmed that they continue to develop the services provided with the aim of delivering high-quality services that contribute to enhancing customer satisfaction. Alba, the world's largest aluminium smelter, has announced a new production record of more than 1.622 million metric tonnes in 2024. The achievement underscores the effectiveness of the company's plans and the continuous efforts of its employees to increase production capacity globally. More in this report.
Aluminium Bahrain Alba, the world's largest single-site aluminium smelter, has achieved a new production record of 1,622,361 metric tons in 2024. This achievement shows the company's upward trajectory in recent years, solidifying its reputation and reliability in global markets. The new record represents an increase of 1,596 metric tons over the previous year's production of 1,620,665 metric tons. This continuous growth reflects the effectiveness of Alba's strategic plans to enhance production levels and highlights the commitment effort of its employees working as a unified team. In addition to its production achievements, Alba has made significant strides in workplace safety. In October 2024, the company reached a remarkable safety milestone of 25 million safe working hours without lost time injury. Furthermore, Alba completed its 8th consecutive summer without any heat-related injuries or illnesses. These accomplishments underscore Alba's ability to overcome challenges and continue its upward momentum. The company's success is driven by initiatives implemented by its team to increase overall production capacity.